Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome into your guide to power for Wuthering Waves. In this video, I'm going to go over 6 very important topics in order in which to progress through the game and build your overall account power, your team power, echo power, everything like that. And then also at the end of it, we are going to give one tip on how to best farm certain materials and stuff like that for these specific instances, and so on and so forth. The purpose of this is to allow you to not stress about which order to do things in. It'll lay out a plan for you, which you can go on that plan, and you can veer off from time to time depending on what stage of the game you're in, and obviously what stage of collecting you've already done since you've seen this video. Anyways, guys, hold tight. We'll dive right into it. Alright then, so first up is a very self-explanatory one. I think most people have already gotten the hang of this, but in the case that you haven't, we'll go ahead and cover it anyways. There will be timestamps for all the different sections, so skip ahead if you've already got this part down pat. So first up, we have our character level. This is very important because it does allow for more of the character skills and certain aspects of the character to be unlocked the higher level that you get. So this is always going to be your very first priority on a character that you're building, is getting their level up to whatever the maximum is that you can at the time. There is certain characters, depending on the progress in the game where you're at, where you don't necessarily need to level them all up to the max level that's available, but definitely focus on your main DPS, whoever that is, and get them up to as high as you can, depending on the soul level and stuff like that of your world. So if we go over here, there's 2 different methods. If we click on a character that has not leveled up, we are using these training materials right here, which are a finite resource. We don't just get infinite of them every single day, and you will run out. To get these on this one right here, if we go ahead, I'm going to spend everything I have so you can see. This one right here will go ahead and level up. If you go over past the level, it does reward you back with some bonuses as well. It gives you the basic resonance potion, or whichever one, the flow over experience that you would use. So don't mind on just hitting that auto. It will give you back in return what you need. Those can be farmed. If we go to our map, we'll go ahead and take a look. Obviously, throughout all of your missions and everything you're doing throughout the day, you can get those materials from chests and all over, along with doing like different mini maps, games and stuff like that. You'll be able to get those, but your main source of that is going to come from here. This is in Xinzhou. It's the very starting area. It's going to be your simulation training. The good thing about doing simulation training is, one, you're getting these materials depending on your world level. So I would suggest holding off until you get to about Soul World 4, which is going to be Union level 30, and then start going into these, because this is when you unlock the highest tier material that you can get. So don't waste any, unless you're just like completely stuck in a bind and you're not able to progress. Don't waste any of those materials, don't waste any of your plates to farm these materials until you get here. It does cost 40 wave plates, so about 4 hours worth of time, and you'll be able to do one of these in general. And from there you will get experience as well, and also this right here, which is intimacy. I forgot the name of it, but there you go. So that's going to be how you farm the leveling materials for this section of just getting the characters level up. Next up, we'll go back to the character, because this all has to do with getting your character up completely, and you're going to see the ascend function. So the ascend is where you get a pretty big chunk of increase depending when you get to the next cap of the level. Here I have to get soul phase level 5 to be able to reach level 70, so it's still going to be a bit away. I think I'm level 32. We still need 8 more levels to go, but regardless of that, depending on your level, you might have some room to go ahead and ascend your characters. With these materials right here, if you look, most of them will use some kind of flower. Click on these items and scroll down. I think a lot of people miss this portion down here where it tells you exactly where to get them. Obviously, all of the flowers can be found in the overworld, so you are going to have to find the specific spot where they're at, mark it on your map, and then go back to it as many times as you can throughout the day. Or if you're like me, I just like to pick a spot on the map and I just zigzag my way down, clearing everything that I can, or at least like hunting different resonance caskets and stuff like that, picking up everything along the way. The great thing is that if you don't feel like doing that, you can go over here to the Shifeng Pharmacy, which is in Jinzhou, and you can buy these items. They are, I think, only 15 available. I'm not sure how long that shop is, if it's a day refresh or a week refresh. I'll have to figure that out. I haven't went back and looked at it today, and I bought a bunch of stuff out. We'll do that at a later time. But yeah, that's going to be that material. Next up, we're going to have these, which are the Howler cores for him specifically. But these items are dropped from enemies. So again, you can scroll down here and it tells you exactly which enemies drop this. And then you also have the ability to go and synthesize lower materials or synthesize the materials in general in Jinzhou as well. So you have two different methods pretty much for everything that's in the game for Ascension material, except for these bad boys right here. These first ones are always going to be class specific depending on the character and their element. The element will provide you, or this will provide you with whatever element they are attuned to. So in his case, he is the wind element or the arrow element, and his boss is the Phalian Berengal. If we click on this right here, it'll allow us to then detect the echo or detect the tacit discord, and then we can see exactly where they are on the map, what their drops are, and everything as well. So you have a couple different methods to get these Ascensions materials. And if we go back right here, just so you guys can see, he is the arrow element. If we go over here to Mortefi, obviously his material is going to be different, and then so on and so forth. If we go to Calcharo, his materials will be different as well, depending on what they are. But like I said, all of the flowers and all of the secondary monster parts, or whatever you want to call them, weapon parts, item parts, these materials can be found in the world. Like this one specifically, I believe is from the Exiles. Yep, the human monsters, the human enemies and stuff like that. But anyways, that's going to wrap it up for the level up section of the characters. I'll see you back at the next one. All right then, so next subject we are going to touch on is going to be your weapons. These give you a lot of just basic flat stats or percentage stats, and they also give you some pretty unique factors to your character. So obviously leveling these up is very important because it will allow you to output more damage or support in a way that you would want to by doing healing or whatever it is, buffs, stuff like that. So for weapons, how do we achieve them? Weapons are achieved a couple different ways, not the higher tier 5 stars. Those are reserved for summoning unless we get like events and stuff in the future, but as of now they are reserved for summoning. There are some 4-star weapons that you can find throughout the world in shops or by crafting them, and then also obviously by summoning as well. Regardless of that, however you have achieved your weapons or whichever one you want to level up, this part is going to be talking about how to get these leveled up, why they're important, and where to get these materials. So as for weapons, as you can see right here, let's go ahead and just go to someone who has something that's not leveled up. So we're looking at Calcharo here. He has a level 1 weapon. We're probably not going to use that. So if we switch off this gray weapon, we'll just go to one of these right now. Let's see if any of these bad boys have any reason to do that. No, this is his main weapon, but just for the sake of the video, we'll go ahead and switch it to this one, and we'll go back here. And as you can see, it has a base stat of 33 attack and then a percentage of 6.7%. And then at rank 1, which is going to be if you get duplicates of the item, you can rank it up. At rank 1, Plasma Recoiler within 12 seconds of resonance skill is released, increased attack by 3%, blah, 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 blah. So that is what your weapon gives base. If we go here to upgrade, which is pretty obvious, like I said, if you know these things, please skip ahead. I'm just going over everything very basic and more advanced stuff in this as well for your farming guide for this. So here, if we go ahead and use our materials, if this were to go up to level 4, we would get an increase of just 8 attack. But if we upgrade even higher, I believe every 5 levels will increase this secondary stat. The secondary stat is going to give you a much bigger boost, a 1.3% on top of another 5 right there, boost on that. Now, yes, you can use your grays and greens and blues and stuff like that you have of the weapons. Let's go ahead and take a look at what the other materials are, and these are going to be your energy cores. These give a much bigger enhance. Like if we just go to the green, let's get rid of this. If we go to the green, 2 of them, each of them has given a level so far. So these are very valuable to accumulate, and they are finite, just like the experience for the characters. Now, same kind of scenario. If we go look at the map again, and we just kind of went over this as well, but if you go to the map and you go scroll all the way down to Jinzhou, you can see this simulated battles right here, simulation training. Again, this is where you get these materials. Well, we're not going to talk too much on it because we just covered it, but that's where you get those materials along with going through the world, doing the exploration and everything as well. So the importance of weapons is obviously going to be a stat increase. But if you look at specific characters, specifically Jian right here, his weapon gives a bonus damage to resonance attributes by 12%, and then the intro or resonance liberation is cast, increases heavy attack damage. Now, why is that important? Because Jian is very reliant on heavy attack damage, whereas other characters, they have different niches. If we go over here to our Mortefi, I don't think this is very good for him at all. I just haven't gotten anything better for him right now. But if we were to have something better, we would want something that allows him to just get his skills off faster, or allows him to get his buff up quicker, or just a little bit of extra damage if you wanted to have him as an off tank. So go ahead and look through your weapons, check out your character's skills, see what they're actually scaling off of or what they're reliant on in their combos and stuff like that, and pick a weapon best suited for them. If you guys are interested, I can do a guide over like the basic weapons and yellow weapons and stuff like that on certain characters, who they can min-max with. But yeah, that's going to be the importance of weapons. We'll go ahead and move on to the next part, and I'll see you guys in a second. All right then, so next up we have echoes. I think this is a pretty simple explanation to this, is that these are like your armors or your set bonuses and everything, and they are important. Again, the same kind of way that weapons are important, they are just as important in your build of a character, because they do allow you to get specific set bonuses. Now for Jian, obviously we want to go with the Sierra Gale, because this gives us arrow damage, and then it also gives us, upon using intro skill, arrow damage increased. So it's just an overall bonus to his kit. Now, how do we get these? There's tons and tons of guides. I have one. If you go look back, there's guides on how to farm your databank and get the best ones as fast as you can. If you haven't seen that, go watch that after you finish this video, and it'll give you a much clearer understanding. But we're going to do a very quick overview of that just for the sake of everything being in this video. So if we go ahead and look at our echoes, we'll go over here to switch. You can see that we have a bunch of different elements, a bunch of different styles to say 4s and 3s and 1s and stuff like that. Now, don't get too overwhelmed with this. It's very simple. Whatever character you're using, usually they want to use the set that is specific to their element. The only time that this will be different is if you have like a support character or a healing character where they require a different kind of set. In his instance, if we look, he's using Moonlit Clouds, which allows him to have energy regen, and his outro skill increased the next resonator who comes in, the attack for them. So obviously he has a very good support. Hers is based around healing, so that's the two different caveats I would say, is supports and healers. But as for main DPS, if we look, he is Arrow Element, she is Arrow Element, he is Thunder Element, she is Fusion Element, and she is Havoc Element. So each of them are rocking their set, so that way they can have a full attunement to that. Can some of these characters use different sets? Absolutely. There is this set right here, which is just going to be a flat attack percentage. While this one on the field, the attack increases by 5% every 1.5 seconds. It stacks up to 4 times, and outro skill damage plus 60. So yeah, you can use this set on any of your DPS if you haven't gotten lucky to, get the other ones. But I would hold off on this because I think there will be like specific characters that just shine with this in the future. They just haven't come out yet. So hold on to these. Don't get rid of a lot of your echoes. You have a very big database for them. You can carry up to 2,000 before you have to get rid of them. But let's go back up here. Now, what are we looking for in the echoes? Like, what is the important stats that you're looking for when it comes to like echoes on your character? For Gian specifically, his main stat, you can see, actually, let's go back here so you can just see. If we go ahead and look at his stats and everything like that, we have all these different stats that pop up. We have basic attack, heavy attack, resonance, liberation, physical, all the different elements going all the way down, and then healing bonus. So obviously with our Gian, we would want our arrow damage bonus up. Now, the echoes I have are not best in slot as for like the sub stats. I just got the main stats and then moved on from there, and I'll explain why in a minute. But we would want, for example, whatever their element is, damage up for sure on every single damage dealer. You would want their element damage on at least 2 pieces most of the time of the echoes, which is going to be like your 3 costs will usually hold those, and then your 1 cost will hold like attack percentage and stuff like that. But we do want crit rate. We don't really need to worry about too much crit damage. On this one, I rolled so much crit damage versus crit rate, which we will work on that. But if we go back in here, you have most characters is 4 3 3 1 1 is what you want to go, because it'll give you exactly a 12 cost fill. Here, if we take a look, my main stat is crit rate here, and then we have just straight attack all the way down. On these, I will be replacing them with arrow damage once I unlock that. For example, if we click on our filter, it'll allow us to see exactly just the echoes that are in that class, the one that we want, the set that we want. So we're looking to see if we have any more herons or any other 3 costs that will give us that arrow bonus, havoc damage bonus, electro damage bonus. So nothing so far, not on the 3 costs, at least not in the yellow. But if we go down here, we'll check these: Spectro, Electro, Havoc, Glacio, and defense. So nothing too good. What you can do for this, like how do you get more echoes if you've run into a part where you're like, man, all the echoes I have are straight trash? Very understandable, easy. This is where the real grind begins. It's where you'll start putting in the most of your time farming for your character. I would say it's the most important for min-maxing for in-game whenever it comes to this. And we have 2 different ways to do that. One, obviously, is the first. You're just running around the map, clearing stuff, and then checking your inventory once you get them. Or if you come over here to your data bank, you can click on your data bank right here. You go over here to all of your different echoes, and you can search where they're at. What I would recommend doing is coming over here to this Sonata gallery, clicking on the specific set you want, and it'll show you all the available echoes that will allow you to get that set piece for the character that you're hunting on. For example, if I wanted to go for more of the herons, I would click on the heron and then hit detect. It'll pop open the map and show me exactly where that one spawned on the map. The cool thing about this is, we'll just go ahead and knock it out real quick. If we go over here and we defeat this heron, it will then pop up on the map where the very next one would spawn, and we can fast travel to them. Or what I recommend doing, because it's the most optimal way to like clear content in the game or min-max your time spent while you're running around and stuff like that. Let's go down here, get over to this bad boy real quick. All right. All right, so he did not drop an echo. You're like, oh man, let me go to the next part. Click on the map. He's already marked for us because he's the one we're hunting, and he is over here. If I wanted to continue on, I could teleport to this location and go keep on farming him. Certain enemies have a finite amount that they respawn every couple of hours. So if you've overfarmed that character or that echo and they disappear off the map, don't worry, come back a couple hours later. They'll be back for you to go ahead and refresh again. But there is a point in time, if you've farmed them so much, they will not spawn until 24 hours is up whenever the refresh of the server happens. So that is going to be the part for getting the echoes. We will move on to the next part, and I'll see y'all in a second. Okay, so next up and last on the list of things to do, and then we have 2 bonus tidbits, which is very important, so wait till the end. Next up, we're going to talk about character skills. Now, you have this forte here, the skill page, which allows you to unlock deeper into, I would say, like their talent tree, to allow you to unlock some pretty unique things and some beneficial things in totality. So, for instance, we are going to go for Cocharo, and we are going to check out which ones would be the most beneficial for the character that you're playing. Right now for Calcharo, I do want to do his Forte Circuit and get this up because I would like to have this one unlocked, which we can unlock right now. But this material specifically is used for a couple characters I want to hold on to because he's not my main, but we will be coming back to that later. Anyways, the importance of these, if we go ahead and click on skill detail, it'll let you know what the multipliers are, what each action of his Forte Circuit is, and everything like that, the benefits of leveling it up. For instance, this is the one for Calcharo, is when Calcharo has 3 cruelty, his heavy attack is replaced with heavy attack mercy. When casting heavy attack mercy, Calcharo consumes 3 cruelty, depending or dealing electro damage. Go ahead and read through each of these. I'm not gonna read through all of that. There's a shitload actually. Go through those on your characters and figure out which one you want to do. It's very important to get at least level 3, I would say, on a couple of these, so that way you have access to unlocking these later on, because these are going to be where your real bonus of the talent trees come in. This is giving 2.4, 5.6, another 2.4, and another 5.6. So in total, we're getting almost like, what is that? 16 bonus crit damage and crit rate. No, crit damage on this. And then we get attack from here, and then this is just more unlocks for his circuit. For now, we're going to go ahead and level this up. It will give a bonus to the mercy damage and the death messenger. We can see it went from 49 to 53 base, and then 19 base to 21 base. So it gives you a bonus. It's not too much on just one single one, but once you start building these all the way up to 10, you will see a very significant amount increase on each of the characters' attacks and their Forte Circuit, ultimates, everything like that. So how do we get these materials? Great question. I was going to tell you anyways. These right here is your Wave Worm residue. These are going to be the basic material used to break through weapons and upgrade skills for Broadblade resonators. So anyone who's using the Broadblade will use the Wave Worm. If we go back and we look at someone like Jian Shin, obviously hers are going to be different. It is a Candent Seed, and we need this to level it up. So again, couple different ways you can get these. One is going to be, the basic one is going to be the souvenir shop, which you can go buy with wood. Wood is farmed throughout the world. Whenever you're killing the human enemies, they drop, and other materials and stuff like that along the way, like chests and caskets and everything, or those little like star-shaped things that you open after beating a couple mobs. The next most important one is going to be your forgery challenges. These do require stamina or your wave plate consumption, and you get these at a finite resource as well. But the good thing about it is you're not wasting that, because you are getting experience as well when you're going to do this. So for hers, it would be right here. If we click on these other ones, we can see that there are different ones throughout the world. Let me see if I can find another one. Here we go. So this one right here would be for these. These are used for the rectifier resonators. So yeah, you would just farm those, or you can grab them from the souvenir shop if you've already expunged all the other resources that you want to get from there. Grab them for your main DPS, so that way you can get their skills up. We're going to go ahead and move on to the 2 extra bonuses that I wanted to talk about, so I'll see you guys in a second. All right, so next up we are going to talk about tuning echoes. You have gone through the game, you've farmed your echoes, you've got your characters leveled up, you've upgraded their weapons, you've upgraded their skills, and now you want to start building out your echoes. When is the best time to do this? In my opinion, it is easy, very, very, very easy to hold off until you get Union level 30. There is nothing in the game that really challenges you to the core to really need to start min-maxing stats until that point. When you get to that point, things get a little bit harder, which is great. That's what we want. But if you want to take the edge off of that, this is going to be what you want to do. Say, for instance, you farmed an echo, like I have this flautist right here. He does have the best in slot main stats for Calcharo, the one that I have him equipped to. So what do we do next? The next thing that I would recommend doing, if you farm these up and you get one, let's go ahead and upgrade it. You don't want to upgrade it all the way, because like I said, these are finite. What I would do is upgrade to about level 10. So that way you have 2 chances of tuning, because After you tune 2 times, you can kind of feel out if the echo is going to be worthy of going all the way, or if you need to go back to the drawing board, start grinding out that echo again, get another one and try it again. The great thing about echoes that you have tuned already is you can then use tuned echoes as experience going into leveling up your echoes. If you've already leveled up an echo, you can put that in, but you will lose your tuning materials. Not all of them, you get a little bit back. I don't have anything that I've used and don't want to keep, so I can't show that, but just trust me, I've done it. You can then use that echo as a material in the tuning section to get some materials back for it. So the reason you want to go to level 10, like I said, is we'll go ahead and level him up. He gives us a bonus in our stats, which is always great, but you unlock this section right here, which is your echo tuning. This is where the real min-maxing begins. And the reason is because each one of those tune slots can give you a random multiplier of one of the substats. The great thing is that 2 is not bad to go into because it allows you to see what the first 2 are going to be. If you get one substat that's really good and then you get one that's bad, I would say push it to the third. But if you already get 2 bad substats, then don't even worry about it. Wait and save your materials and go on to the next. So for the sake of the video, we're going to do it just how I would do it. I would hit tune, see what I would get. I got defense. That's not good at all for this character. So we're hoping that this next one is a hit. If it's not, we move on to finding another one of these bad boys. Next one is crit damage. That's not bad. So in this instance, I would want to go farm more materials to level him up, which we don't have enough to get to 15, but I would get more materials to level him up and have the ability to boost him even further to see what that third substat is going to be. Again, if it's good, you keep going. If it's bad, you're done. That's already 2 spots taken up. It's not worth it. In regards to that, because we still are only 4 or 5 days into the game, it's okay if you want to max out one echo for your character or a full set for your character, because of the main stat is just very valuable overall importance. Like if we go back to any of the other echoes that I have, this one gives crit rate. Obviously I want to try to get a yellow in this spot with crit rate. The ones that I have is HP and attack. I'd rather hold off on leveling those up because I want to make sure I get a yellow at least where I'm at in the game. If you're at a point where you don't grind as hard as like content creators and stuff like that, it's no problem. You can level up the purple ones. You're not wasting anything in your playthrough. It's not a PvP game or a leaderboard game or anything like that. So allow your character to get stronger. And then if you think, hey, I'm Union level 22, I'm not going to hit 30 for another week, then don't screw yourself out on not using materials, because you will get them just by playing. But if you play so little to a point to where you're not getting those materials, then maybe hold off. It's very subjective depending on your play style. I grinded very hard in this game so I could bring you guys content. I could make errors, I could try different things out and see what the best things are for you guys to benefit y'all in the long run. So for example, this little guy right here, the Vanguard Junkrock, if I were to level him up, I would get a bonus damage to attack, which I have leveled him up to 19, and we did end up getting heavy attack bonus. I left him here so that way I could show you. Heavy attack bonus is okay, but we would like to get some percentages on either crit damage, crit rate, crit damage, or just flat out attack, or like the echo skills, not the echo skills, the sonant skills, to where you're going through your combo. So we'll see what we get next. We got resonance liberation damage, which is, it's okay. It's not too great. I'm probably going to hold off on leveling or tuning this one any further, because this material is the last thing that I wanted to talk about, which is very important. So we get very little of these throughout the game, just from buying them from shops and stuff like that. But the great thing is once you get to Union level 30, you unlock a higher percentage of these materials to be dropped from the tacit fields. From the tacit fields right here, we can see if we scroll over, That's not the tacit fields. If we go to the tacit field, we can see each of the tacit field drops this tuning material that we would need. Now, the only thing left to choose is, depending on your main DPS, this can also be a great way to just by chance get some echoes while you're farming this as well, so it's not a waste. For example, if I wanted to go for more of the Electro or Glacio, I could go with here. This one is the Arrow and Glacio. Those are those 2 off subsets, so on and so forth. You can go through and check what tacit fields you have unlocked and go for the ones that you would think would be beneficial to you. Not only that, in the world, I think I've cleared most of them already today. But if you come across those caskets, like I was saying, they're like the diamond shapes that they open up once you kill a couple enemies. Those do have a chance of dropping tuning materials. So a reason that I would say, if you are echo farming, don't just fast travel to fast travel. Clear the map out as much as possible. I believe that there's already like a farming route out. If you're interested in doing that, I've kind of created my own that I like to do because it's the path that I like to take for the materials that I'm trying to get at this moment. But find one that works best for you. Anyways, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. I hope I brought y'all a lot of insight and you are good to go on progressing through the story and good to go on power progressing your account. As always, if you guys have any questions that I didn't cover in these videos, please let me know down in the comments below, and I'll see y'all in the next one.